Hey folks, it's Nick Granville. As promised, I said there was some lessons on their way, so I'm back. I'm back doing this. I'm feeling fit and strong and healthy again. So yeah, thanks for sticking with me. So today I wanted to talk about minor pentatonic, a scale that many of us learn, one of the first scales we ever learn, but one that people don't tend to go too deep on. I find often they'll learn like their blues licks, those sorts of things, which are great and have their context, but this is actually a very useful scale in all kinds of other contexts too, from jazz fusion contexts to more straight ahead jazz, modern jazz things, to all kinds of places where you can use this information. So what I'm going to talk about today is deriving chords from the minor pentatonic, and for me, I use this a lot. I really like the sound, and the concept of it is pretty simple. If we think of E, I'll use E minor as an example because you can play E on the bottom string and keep that going underneath. But if we think of an E minor pentatonic as the notes E, G, A, B, D, and E. That's it, those are the notes, right? And if we think about how the chords might work based on those, we can have, so we have this G note on the top. I can stack the notes underneath it that would fit the shape. So I have E, A, D, and G. But there's a much simpler way of getting to that. The way I look at it is I think of the shape, and then I just picture that voicing out of it. Right? So the second shape would be, and I picture this shape here. And then the next shape. Alright, my next shape would be this. Next shape would be, and then I'm back to home bass. And then we started just up an octave. So I have E, A, D, G. I have G, B, E, A. I have A, D, G, B. I have B, E, A, and D. And then all the 12th fret. And like anything, how I use these is, I'll use them for when I'm comping for sure, but I also use them when I'm soloing. So when I play a solo, a lot of times I play in trios and things like that. So I'll play a solo and maybe I'll want to punctuate something in amongst the chords. So it might be, in amongst the notes I should say. So there what I did was I played a little solo and I played some little melodic ideas, and then I punctuated it with these pentatonic chords. And they can be 2-note chords, they can be 3-note, 4-note. I tend to find even 4-note gets a little full a lot of the time. Sometimes only 2 or 3 is all you need. It's sort of a modal approach to playing guitar, if you will, right? And of course you can move through the full scale if you want. Say we're in E Dorian. I'd still use that first chord as my bass, and then I'd add the other notes in. So there I'm just going G, A, G, F sharp. Even a chord like that, right? E, B, G, A, D. That could be seen as a pentatonic chord because all of those notes come from the pentatonic. It's really, we know that as an E minor 9, E minor 11 really actually because it's got the A in it. But I think of that as being derived from the pentatonic, the minor pentatonic in this instance. Right, so the next step, what's the next step to do? Well, this is a pretty cool thing that I think it was Mike Knox showed me, but I'm not totally sure who exactly it was. If we think about this first chord we had here, which was E, A, D, G. if chromaticism is a thing, we could very easily go, as long as we resolve right. It tends to work better going downwards, resolving up. Tends to work better that way. But what's really cool is if we hold just the top note on the top to keep the pentatonic the same, but move all the other notes. So now we get, and we can do it upwards as well. Right, now next one. Right, next one. Now we're kind of creating all these tensions and get it against it, but they're very easy to see because we can see it based on that top line. Probably should have turned that delay off. I hope it's not too annoying to people. We do that with any of the notes. It could be this one here. So there I've got B flat, E flat, A flat, and D. Moving down if you want. And the key to that is resolving into one of the ones that is one of the pentatonic chords, as I called them earlier. And that's quite a cool sound. It's a very contemporary sound. What I like with that is that you can do that over chord changes as well. It starts to get more complex when you get into that, but especially for one chord vamp fusion-y type things, or even rock gigs where it can get a bit more experimental, or blues gigs in the right context. Again, it's all context, so you have to kind of use your judgment and decide, is this the right place to be using this or not? But if it is the right context, then that can be some pretty powerful stuff that you can add to your playing. I've done these all in E minor. Obviously you want to explore it in A minor, would be another one that's really common and a good place to start. C minor, D minor, these sorts of keys, and eventually know them all. You probably, by the time you've done about 4 or 5 keys, you'll know it in all of the keys. So, what's the next step? Well, the next step is to kind of look at more advanced scales. Pentatonic is just pent 5-note scale, right? So any 5-note scale could be a pentatonic of sorts, and could be something that you could explore to come up with these chord voicings on. Major pentatonic, for example, takes on a totally different kind of context. Shows how often I use major pentatonic these days. I had to think about that for a minute there. But that's a really cool context as well that you could use. And again, there's something nice about the major pentatonic that gets looked over a lot. A lot of times guitar players go for minor pentatonic first. But there's a lot. Major pentatonic's a beautiful sound as well. And again, it's all context. So if you're using it in the right context, it's cool. From James and I, and my family would like to wish you a Happy New Year. Say Happy New Year, everybody. Hope everybody's well and that 2023 is going to be an amazing year for you all. Take care and see you soon. Bye.